Adventurers or young tourists often find places that are endowed with a wonderful and diverse ecosystem by Mother Nature. And certainly not without mentioning Australia, a land of abundance, home of fascinating natural sights, and a country thought in many ways, a country multicultural and welcoming to all nationality, origin, and religion. In addition, this country also contains countless other exciting facts that create many surprises for Australian tourists who first set foot in this territory. You may have traveled to Australia before, but surely there will be the following things that will surprise you. Let's discover interesting things about Australia that not everyone knows. Australia is in the southern hemisphere, in the middle, surrounded by two large oceans, the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean. Despite being the smallest continent, Australia is among the top countries with the largest area in the world. Australia is bordered by Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and East Timor to the north. It is bordered by the Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, and Nouvelle-Caledoni to the northeast and New Zealand to the southeast. The rest of Australia is surrounded by oceans. Australia is the smallest continent in the world, but is the sixth largest country in terms of total area, due to its large size and isolation. Australia is also assigned the name island continent, and is sometimes considered the largest island in the world. You will be surprised to know that Australia's width is equal to the distance from London, England, to Moscow, Russia. Not Sydney, not Melbourne, but Canberra is the capital of Australia, Australia's only city located inland. Australia is a country with 85% of the population living within 50 kilometers of the coast, with a total area of about 814.2 kilometers. In 1908, Canberra was chosen as the capital of Australia in a compromise between the two major cities of that time, Sydney and Melbourne. Canberra is more than 3 hours from Sydney by car and about 8 hours from Melbourne. Australia has a coastline of 34,218 kilometers, excluding offshore islands, and claims an exclusive economic zone of 8,148,250 square kilometers, not counting the exclusive economic zone of the Australian Antarctic Territory. It takes you 27 years to walk all the coasts in Australia. With more than 10,000 beaches, this country is a paradise for those who have a passion for discovery and experience, isn't it? It's odd that in a country where it takes you 27 years to go to all the beaches, day bathing was once banned. From 1828 to 1902, if you went to the beach during the day, you would break the law. It took a long time for the struggles of swimmers to be recognized and for swimming to become legal. Up to 90% of the population in Australia lives on the coast. This is one of the most interesting facts about Australia. The reason for this is that in the center of the Australian territory, there are only large deserts, which are not convenient for people to live and develop. Major cities such as Perth, Sydney and Melbourne are all famous Australian tourist icons and are located on the coast. These cities have large entertainment centers buzzing with a multitude of fun activities that attract large numbers of beach tourists. Besides the main hubs, there are hundreds of smaller beach towns where you can enjoy the idyllic Australian coastline. In addition, exploring Port Macquarie in New South Wales and enjoying a luxurious dinner by the sea also create a new experience for tourists here. Contributing to the list of interesting facts about Australia is the Great Barrier Reef, a great pride of Australia. Made up of nearly 2,500 individual reefs and visible from space, the Great Barrier stretches halfway down the east coast of the country. This place is also used to create one of the most interesting underwater activities when traveling to Australia, which is to explore kaleidoscopic corals. Cairns is the perfect city to start a reef excursion. Besides, places like Townsville, Port Douglas and Airlie Beach all have different tours that take you to enjoy the beauty of the reef. In addition, the Great Barrier is also famous for diving deep into the ocean among colorful fish and turtles, bringing excitement to tourists to visit here. It is certainly no exaggeration to say that Australia is an extremely diverse country when it comes to many cultures and countless different communities on the same territory. In addition, it is also home to more than 85% of the world's species of creatures, creating a diverse ecosystem for Australia. Along with the rich resources bestowed by nature and man-made structures, this country contains many interesting facts that create great surprises for friends around the globe. Around 20% of people living in Australia were born overseas and 40% of the population is a mix of different races. The people of Australia are very friendly, civilized, open, and ready to welcome people from all over the world such as England, Ireland, Scotland, China, Italy, Germany, India, Indigenous, Greece, the Netherlands, the Philippines, Vietnam, Lebanon, etc. Because of that, the phenomenon of racism in Australia is very rare. According to the results of a census in Australia, about 23% of Australians live overseas, and Australians of mixed cultural backgrounds make up 40%, a very large number. Although English is still the most popular and widely used language in each migrant community, languages such as Greek, Italian, Arabic and Chinese are still commonly used. Australia is a multicultural country with no official language, but most Australians speak English. According to the 2016 Australian census, the number of English speakers in this country accounts for 73%. In addition to English, in Australia, it is possible to use more than 400 different languages, such as Chinese, accounting for 2.5%, Arabic, accounting for 1.4%, Italian and Greek. There are more than 300,000 Vietnamese people living and working in Australia, of which Footscray, in Melbourne, is considered the capital of the Vietnamese here. The life of Vietnamese people will not be too different from their hometown thanks to the markets and shops opened by Vietnamese people. When living here, you will feel the atmosphere of home when you can easily enjoy the taste of home right in the land of kangaroos with familiar dishes such as pho and bread. In addition, each year the country organizes major festivals to promote Aboriginal culture, cuisine, and music. Therefore, if you can come to Australia during the festive season, you will see very different images of the kangaroo country, wonderful images of Aboriginal culture. Under the new policy of Australia, people can freely use public phone booths at any location across the country. However, for calls abroad, you will still lose charges and be forced to use the cashless payment method. Melbourne is known as the capital of metal mines, especially gold. Here day and night activities of buying, selling, mining, and processing gold and precious metals become the main activities of the whole city. And soon Melbourne became the richest city in the world in the 1880s. Today, Melbourne is almost a miniature Athens with more Greeks than any other city in the world. This is most clearly reflected in the Greek style of the restaurants here. There are about 60 million kangaroos and more than 100 million sheep, while the population is only nearly 25 million people. This is because in Australia up to 2/3 of the area is desert, which is a suitable habitat for wild animals. While the population of this country only lives in a few large cities. There is still a lot of land in Australia that is not yet inhabited. $270 million is the number of cakes that Australia consumes each year. It is thanks to this number that this country has become the country that consumes the largest number of cakes in the world. This explains why some of Australia's famous delicacies are related to cakes such as beetroot burgers, green chicken curry pies, cheese and bacon rolls, and pavlova. If you have seen the Australian movie starring two famous actors Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman, you will be impressed by the dusty land and the huge herd of cattle. That scene is not only real in real life, but even more spectacular. In southern Australia, Anna Creek is considered the largest farm in the world with an area of up to 24,000 square kilometers, larger than Israel. Surely everyone knows that in the upper left corner of the Australian flag is the flag of England. Why is there a symbol of another country on the Australian flag? Perhaps this shows the Australian people's respect for the past. The country was once a British colony and has a special relationship with Britain. Maybe Australians always want to maintain a strong connection with this empire. The sun never sets. The main color of the Australian flag is navy blue. Simply because Australia is the largest island country in the world, with 4 sides bordering the sea and ocean. The stars on the Australian flag have 7 points. They are prosperity stars with 7 points representing the remaining 6 states and territories of the country. Besides, 5 white stars on the Australian flag are arranged in the constellation of the Southern Cross. It is a symbol of Jesus when he was hanging on the cross to save sentient beings. That's all. Without knowing too much about Australia, you can see how much the people of this country worship Christianity. In the middle of the Australian coat of arms can be easily seen a shield containing 6 familiar coats of arms, representing the 6 states of Australia. The border around the 6 badges symbolizes the unity of the states in Australia. And at the top of the Australian coat of arms is the 7-pointed Federation Star, 6 states and territories, the symbol of a heroic federal state. A point that makes many people wonder is, what image does the Australian national emblem have on both sides of the shield? The animal on the left of the shield is a kangaroo, also known as a kangaroo, a common and typical animal in Australia. Perhaps because the kangaroo is an animal that never goes backward, it was chosen to symbolize Australia's constant rise. With that vision in mind, Australia has moved forward over the past decade. The second animal appearing in the Australian coat of arms is the emu bird. This is the largest flightless bird in Australia, living all over the country. This species of ostrich runs at a speed of up to 50 km/h. Perhaps that is why it is included in the national emblem, with the meaning of bringing rapid development to the country. Here you can see how much Australians love nature. Because Australia's national emblem is mostly the image of plants, flowers, and animals typical of this country. Australia is one of the leading countries in terms of policies for people, so it attracts a lot of foreigners to study, work, and live. Australia's natural conditions stand out for its wide variety of terrain. In addition, Australia's population is small but has diverse backgrounds. It is these things that make the land of kangaroos always contain a lot of interesting things that not everyone knows. Hope today's video has helped you understand the basics, and interesting things in Australia are waiting for you to discover. Thank you for watching today's video. If you find this video good, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support ASK KPOP Entertainment to make more exciting videos.